Well, we have heard a lot of talk from the House Republicans about cutting spending, but very few specifics. And that's probably because the specifics are actually pretty bad. This report makes clear that when House Republicans throw out ideas like going back to 22 funding levels, which Speaker McCarthy and MAGA Republicans in the House want to do, they aren't actually proposing a freeze. They are calling for drastic, draconian cuts that will hurt families in every corner of this country, undermine our economy, jeopardize our national security, and limit our future. It is a raw deal for you and your family to make sure Speaker McCarthy can appease the most extreme Republicans in the House. When House Republicans talk about cutting spending, they aren't just cutting some abstract number or a line on a page. They are talking about massive cuts to countless programs that help people in countless ways every single day. They're talking about cutting health care services. They're talking about cutting child care, which is already too hard to find or afford. They're talking about cutting the programs to make sure our kids have the very bottom line basics: a healthy lunch, clean drinking water, high quality public education, a bright future, and making sure your families have the basics: keeping roofs over your families' heads, or keeping the heat on in winter, or keeping food on the table. That is what House Republicans want to cut back, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's the 988 suicide lifeline that has helped millions of people. There's border security that is stopping fentanyl and drug trafficking. There's research into cancer and Alzheimer's and other awful diseases. There is investments in our workforce, in science and in technology, so we can stay ahead of China. That's what House Republicans want to cut. That's what government spending means to my friends and my neighbors and my constituents back in Washington State.
Hello, friends. I have important news to share with you. President Biden is now working on the finalization of his new relief plan. And the Internal Revenue Service has just released new details for stimulus checks. Some Americans may end up receiving a bonus payment from the IRS if they have already filed taxes this year. Please make sure that you watch until the end of this video, because I'll be going over all of the details. This coming Friday, I'll be giving away 2 Walmart gift cards to say thank you so much, friends, for being part of this community. If you'd like to enter the giveaways, my friends, simply click and like several of my videos, and then do comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My friends, the more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances of winning the weekly giveaways. The Internal Revenue Service has warned taxpayers who had received a stimulus check from their state to postpone filing their tax return until the agency determined if these payments counted as taxable income. The guidance is now available, and for taxpayers in California, the news is good. The middle-class tax refund checks will not be taxed at the federal level. The tax authority cited these payments to be treated as a relief program, since the White House plans to end the emergency declaration in May of this year. These types of payments may be subject to federal taxes. Since the White House plans to end the emergency declaration in May, in the future, these types of payments may be subject to federal taxes. State governments should be aware that when the state of emergency is lifted, any payments made to their residents are likely to be taxed, and recipients should be informed of that fact to ensure that they are not caught by surprise when filing their federal return. The majority of state-level payments made last year will not be taxed, and the IRS justified the position by stating that the decision is in the best interest of sound tax administration. In addition to residents of the Golden State, those who received a check in Alaska, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Idaho, Indiana, Maine, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island will not be required to report the payment as income to the IRS. While President Biden's student loan forgiveness program was promising up to $20,000 in one-time debt relief for low and middle-income borrowers, it is currently tied up in the courts. The Department of Education is working on new repayment plans that has a potential to significantly help both current and future borrowers. For many federal student loan borrowers, the lesser-known plan, which Biden first announced in August of last year, would not only reduce their monthly payments, but also lower the total amount that they pay back over time. Plus, the proposed repayment plan is less likely to face the legal challenges that have stalled Biden's broad forgiveness program. Even if the one-time loan forgiveness program is ultimately rejected by the Supreme Court, the new loan repayment plan could offer a benefit that's even more generous for some borrowers. A recent report published by the Urban Institute states, this pending change to federal student loans has a potential to be more significant in the long run than President Biden's broad-based forgiveness plan that is now on hold by the courts. The Department of Education expects to start implementing some parts of the new income-driven repayment plan later this year. But first, the proposal is currently going through a formal rulemaking process, and changes may be made to the proposal before it takes effect. Biden's forgiveness program, if it's allowed to move forward, would grant a one-time federal student loan cancellation to individual borrowers who make less than $125,000 a year and whose households make less than $250,000 a year annually. But future federal student loan borrowers would receive nothing from the forgiveness program. In contrast, the proposed repayment plan would benefit current and future borrowers by lowering the monthly cost and total amount repaid for many low and middle-income borrowers. So currently, there are several different kinds of income-driven repayment plans. The new proposal would amend one of those, the revised pay-as-you-earn repayment plan, also known as REPAY, while phasing out the others. Changes could be made to the proposed income-driven repayment plan before it is implemented. But here is how it would work under the official proposal that was released in January. Like in existing income-driven repayment plans, enrolled borrowers would be required to pay a portion of their income, regardless of how much outstanding student debt they owe. The new plan would lower the amount of discretionary income that borrowers are required to pay. The new plan would also measure discretionary income differently, increasing the amount of income protected from repayment. Under this new proposal, unpaid interest would not accrue. That means that a borrower's balance will not increase, even if the person's monthly payment does not cover the monthly interest. Well, my amazing and magnificent friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Sunday. Thank you, my friends, for being part of this community and for joining me here every day. And to show my appreciation, I'll be announcing 2 winners this coming Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaways. If you'd like to enter the giveaways, my friends, simply click and like several of my videos, and then do comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My friends, the more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances, friends, of winning the giveaways.